Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another meeting of the Inkster City Council. The time is now 7 p.m. on Monday, November the 1st, 2021. Before we call the meeting to order, we will have a prayer by Pastor Overman. After that, we will have a pledge of allegiance, and then we will have a moment of silence for Commissioner Tony Bailey. And after that, we will go into roll call. So please, in that order. Pastor Overman.
Good evening, everyone. Let every heart pray. Father, we thank you tonight for your amazing grace and your love. We thank you for the spirit of love and the spirit of community that is so strong and prevalent in Inkster. We thank you for all of those that lead in our community, and we ask that you give them vision, help them to see so much more than we're currently seeing, but to see the greatness that really lies deep within the hearts of everyone here. Help them to be the first one to ask, how can I help? How can we fix this? What can we learn from this? And how can we make change that can be sustained for generations? Help us all to say, how do I listen to what's being said to me? And how do I lead in the great love that I have inside? Remind us all of how important it is to remember that there are some that are homeless, some that are hungry, those that can't figure out things, Lord God, because of mental health issues, because of substance issues, pain and the pressure that we've all experienced from this pandemic. Let us not forget the elderly neighbor, God, those that are right in our community, right up the street and seen. Let us just knock on the door and make sure they're okay. Let us remember, God, that when we have, it's because of your mercy and your love. I know we think it's because of our hard work, but hard work can't help us when our bodies are broken down. So we thank you for good health, for sound minds, for the ability to understand that something so much greater than us is giving us the opportunity to be great. So God, I ask in the name of Jesus Christ that this community will have a spirit of justice, of oneness and brotherly love, and that we'll be led and guided by these principles, and that we will not forget who we are together, that we are so much stronger when we operate in an interdependence than in separation and anger and frustration. Release such a great spirit of community in the city of Inkster that people from everywhere will wonder, what happened to them? How can we be just like them? Things I pray because of my faith in Jesus Christ, and I release it to my community. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Troy, please, pledge of allegiance, and then we all stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now let's have a moment of silence for the loss of our dearly beloved commissioner and daughter of our great city, Connie Bailey. Thank you. Roll call, please, City Clerk.
Mayor Wimberly.
Here, reporting from Inkster City Hall, County of Wayne.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard is absent today and excused absence. Councilman Williams.
Yeah, remotely from my home in City of Inkster, County of Wayne.
Councilwoman Washington is absent and excused absence as well. Councilwoman Wadley.
Yes, appearing remotely from my home in the city of Inkster, Michigan, County of Wayne.
Councilman Chisholm.
Present, reporting virtually from my home in Inkster, Michigan, County of Wayne.
And Councilman Shaw.
Here in the City of Inkster.
Thank you. Mayor Wimberly, you have a quorum.
Awesome. Moving right into the meeting, approval of the agenda, please. There a motion?
So move.
With support?
Support.
Been properly moved and supported. Roll call, please. I'm sorry, discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please, City Clerk.
Sure. Councilman Williams,
Yes.
Councilwoman Watley,
Yes.
and Councilman Chisholm,
Yes.
and Councilman Shaw.
Yes.
The motion carries. All right, moving right into presentations and discussion. Harry, if you'd like to just kind of lead us up before we allow Mr. Mark to speak from Lark Community Development Group.
Sure. Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I've been working with various staff members, Daryl Green, Safe House, Nod, of course, Mayor Wimberly, on putting together a package, helping create a package to help renovate the Cherry Hill Family Senior Center and the Family Center. As you know, right now we have a pilot on the Family Center, and we have certain opportunities to get some, pilot. Excuse me while I remember my notes. A pilot, on the Senior Center right now. And for those of you who don't know in the audience, sure the council knows, but a pilot stands for Payment in Lieu of Taxes. Under the Michigan Property Tax Act, General Property Tax Act, they have special incentives to allow to help create affordable subsidized housing. And one of the ways that happens is by having a reduced payment in lieu of property taxes. Right now, there's a payment in lieu of taxes, a pilot on the Senior Center. They pay 4% of their rents over there, unit rents over there. Those units, and you'll hear more from Mark Sepia. Mark is Vice President with Lark Corporation, who is overseeing the project for both of these. In order to do those units date from the late 1970s, and they really haven't been updated or modernized much since they were created. It's time to do some work over there. In order to do that, we need to take advantage of some of the Property Tax Act incentives that are available to the city and available to the developer to get this done. And tonight we have in front of us a request to do a pilot on the Family Center. Right now, there's a pilot on the Senior Center. Under the General Property Tax Act, the Senior Center also qualifies, since it's totally for senior citizens right now, there's a different property tax exemption that's allowed on there. And under the Property Tax Act, the senior housing exemption actually will replace the current pilot on that property, on the Senior Center. The Senior Center, the paperwork has already been submitted, approved by our assessor's office. This was before council earlier this year, and gave the developer the go ahead with this. And instead of getting the pilot funds that we get now, we'll actually get the full property tax amounts that we would get under the regular Property Tax Act, the full ad valorem amounts. How this is beneficial to the developer is that under the Tax Act, this money is actually paid not by the owner of the property, but by the state. The state treasurer is going to pay us the money. So we'll actually have a surplus and increase in tax revenues from the Senior Center. This will allow, and again, this qualifies for the financing that the corporation can apply for to help get the financing they need to renovate the Senior Center. In exchange, they've asked us to grant, as part of this being a package, to do a pilot payment in lieu of taxes on the Family Center. That will reduce the amount of money that the city receives from the Family Center currently, but the net between the increase on the Senior Center and the decrease in the pilot will still result in an increase in property tax revenue to the city from the two of them, if this is both approved, beginning next year, of approximately $140,000. I can't give you an exact number right now because we don't have the final taxable values for the properties or the final millage rates for the properties at this time. But approximately $143,000 in tax revenue from these two parcels, where this past year was just a little bit over $50,000. So that's a net of approximately $90,000 more in revenue to the city. Plus, if the developer goes ahead with the improvements, which I'm going to let him describe, our citizens here in Inkster, both senior citizens in the senior center and the families in the family center, will have upgraded facilities and a 20th century building brought up to the 21st century. So at this time, I'd like to hand it over to Mark Sepio. Mark, I believe you're on this Zoom call somewhere. Mark, if you chime in, I'd appreciate it.
And Mark is under the LARC.
He's there as the LARC group. I don't know if he needs to be unmuted. Clerk?
Yes. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
Excellent. Well, thank you. Thank you all so much for the opportunity to present and answer any questions that you have about this project. And thank you, Harry, for giving that summary. So the improvements to the property. So we look at this as it's really a benefit both from a tax revenue perspective to the city of Inkster, but also, as Harry said, it's a huge investment and really a very timely investment for these properties to really bring them into the 21st century. Again, the properties were both constructed in 1979, have not experienced a significant across-the-board rehabilitation project since then. And so I'll take it sort of one property at a time because it gets a little confusing. So on the senior property, that's a 7-story mid-rise building. And in that building, there's 150 units that are restricted to low-income seniors, age 62 and older, or disabled residents. And on the family site, what we refer to as the family site, there are 6 townhome buildings that contain a total of 36 units designed for and restricted to low-income families. So what we're presenting here is an affordable apartment rehabilitation project for the city of Inkster that in the near term will benefit over 200 residents of Inkster who live at Cherry Hill Place. And what we hope to do is close on low-income housing tax credit financing with the Michigan Housing Development Authority sometime in March of next year. Our underwriting for that project across both sites requires the pilot on the family property. We are able to accomplish this investment because of the additional leverage and credits that we can achieve by getting the pilot and the tax exemption in place. In other words, you are leveraging that value enhancement for the improvements to the property. So I'll go into some of these improvements that we're adding. And our plans are nearly complete. In fact, before the end of this month, I would expect that we would submit them for proposed permit approval and begin the sort of plan review and permit process on these. So I'm just looking at my notes here. So the improvements at these properties include all the major categories, starting with the site and building exteriors. We'll be fully replacing the roof on the senior building. We'll be replacing 2 roofs on the family buildings, since we've already replaced 4 of the roofs on the family buildings since we acquired the property over the past year. We'll be replacing all windows, patio stair treads, certain select vinyl siding on the townhomes, select tuck pointing throughout both properties. And in the senior building, we'll be replacing the steel exterior doors. We'll be replacing the intercom system and controlled access system. We'll be seal coating and restriping the parking lot, milling and capping certain areas, replacing dumpster enclosures, grading and reseeding lawns, installing more accessible sidewalk ramps and routes for wheelchair access. On the building mechanical systems and common areas, we'll be replacing furnaces in the townhomes and boilers in the senior building, replacing air conditioning condensing units and through wall AC units throughout both properties. We'll be enhancing the family units with new dishwashers. Currently, dishwashers are not an amenity in the family units. So we'll be running electrical lines and installing new dishwashers in the townhome units. And we'll be replacing the water heaters in those units. During the past year of our ownership, we already fully modernized the elevator systems in the senior building. And we also added a fitness center, a fully furnished fitness center, and computer room with free internet for our residents. And we've painted and improved the lighting in the senior building's lobby. So for the go forward rehab projects in the senior building, the common area improvements will be able to focus on new ceiling, new lighting, new carpet, and new kitchen cabinets and appliances in the community room, which is a very well-used community room, and in the laundry rooms as well. The unit interiors at both sites will see the most improvements. They'll receive all new flooring, kitchen cabinets, countertops, sinks, faucets, garbage disposals, all new appliances, including ranges, refrigerators, and range hoods. We'll steam clean all the tile floors and regrout them as needed. We'll repaint all the interior unit walls and ceilings. We'll be replacing all bathroom vanities, countertops, sinks, faucets, medicine cabinets, toilets, towel bars, and fixture shutoff valves. And we'll be upgrading the upgrading to accessible cabinets and vanities and bathroom grab bars in select units for all HUD requirements. And we'll be replacing all in-unit electrical panels. So all in, we will be investing an average of over $44,000 per unit. That's an average. Obviously, some units will get more as needed. And that $44,000 per unit average includes the exterior and mechanical improvements that I've discussed. And so to achieve cost efficiencies that we need to stay within budget for this project, we really need to perform the work at both sites simultaneously. So it's been bid out already once in August to confirm with real bids kind of where we're at and what we can do, what we can promise here. We'll be bidding out again. Obviously, pricing is changing on a weekly and monthly basis. So we will be bidding out again soon to confirm budget, but we are again hoping to close on the financing in March. So really, really close to getting there. They're also tied together, these projects, because the Michigan State Housing Development Authority and HUD financing are slated for simultaneous approval. And it's again, all of the cost factors and cost efficiencies that we can achieve are on a mutual bid basis for both projects. So these projects will take approximately 17 months to complete. So if we can get started sometime in March, we are looking to have a finished product by July or August of 2023. And we, again, think these projects are structured in a way that makes financial sense for the city of Inkster in terms of the city's revenue year over year. It's obviously not just a one-time increase in revenue. It is year over year for the life of the senior tax exemption that we are getting good feedback from the Michigan Treasury is going to be approved. In fact, I saw a letter that I believe went to the the City of Inkster assessor, Marwan Abdullah. It's addressed to him. So I haven't had the chance to follow up with him, but he should have received a letter late last week from the Michigan Treasury regarding that tax exemption. Some of the details that the Treasury is working through there. So really, this is also a community investment. It's a financial sense, but also makes community investment sense to enhance the quality of life for over 200 low-income senior and family residents who call Cherry Hill Place.
All right, thanks,
I'm
Mark.
happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Mark. Any questions from the body? Any questions from the body?
I had one.
Okay, go ahead, Councilman
Just trying to clear, is that the one also that's facing, Henry Ruff? The building senior there, they also the same ones being remodeled on Henry Ruff?
No, these are separate.
These are, I'm not sure if I heard the lead address for both properties is 29477 Cherry Hill Road.
Was
And
at
that's the
corner of
lead
Cherry
address
Hill
for
and
both.
Middle Belt.
No, I'm not talking about the ones on Middle Belt, Mr. Mayor. I'm talking about the one that's on Henry Ruff.
Yes, and let me answer that question for you. No, these are separate. This is totally different company.
Okay.
Okay. Mark, thank you so much for the presentation.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, go ahead, Councilwoman Wiley.
sorry, through the chair, I just want to clarify one thing. According to the Allen Brothers representative, we will begin receiving taxes on this as of next year?
Well, we're already receiving taxes already. We're just looking at the amended taxes. So go ahead,
If
Harry.
No,
Yeah,
no, we have a
Ma-
pilot currently now, right? We approved the
Right.
pilot. So
Right.
when they have done this renovations, we will start receiving taxes. I believe you said 140 something a year, a 90 some dollar improvement, 90,000.
I can just jump in on my
Okay,
understanding.
go ahead.
Harry, feel free to, let me know if you have any difference of understanding. But my understanding is that if we have the approval, which I believe we're on the cusp of getting the approval for the senior tax exemption, that the first payment from the Michigan Treasury will occur in 2022, at the end of 2022.
Okay, very good. And
Yeah.
this, do you know if there'll be any price hikes or rental hikes for the people living there in this? Will the rent stay the same even with the massive improvements?
Because these are all project-based Section 8 units, we have a housing and payment assistance contract with HUD across 100% of the units. So the residents will not experience any increase in taxes or any increase in their rents beyond what they would otherwise be required to pay under the HAP contract. So 30% of their adjusted gross income is what they will pay. It is what they're paying now, and that is what they will pay after these improvements are complete. They will not experience any. They will not receive any increase in rents. They will always be paying 30% of their adjusted gross.
Okay, and these people that receive the new housing, are people that are currently living there. And it's not like a first come, first served basis or anything of that nature. It's for the people who already are in that home. They won't be displaced.
Exactly, yes. We are working through an approved, it will not be, depending on the level of improvements in the unit, they may have to move to a different unit on site for a temporary period, and then they'll be able to move back into their same unit that they've always been in. And there's certainly no permanent displacement at all. And the only disruption would be potentially when we're actually working on their units, depending on the level of rehab that their particular unit needs. They would be temporarily relocated on site and then moved back into their unit when the unit is complete. And that would be a rarer case. What we hope to achieve is that it's only during work hours that when we're in the unit, that they would offer, designated resident areas with food and refreshments and ability to watch TV and in the common areas while we're working on the unit. And then they would have a fully functional unit after the work hours are complete at 5 p.m. It's the goal. But there's going to be some situations where depending on the level of improvement, they may actually move into other units that are fully furnished and available during the renovation.
Would that create any expense to the resident?
Absolutely not. No, fully budgeted in our relocation.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
All right, any other questions from the body? Okay, just one from me as it relates to Is there any special considerations as you talked about going back out for bid for local contractors to be able to bid on the project, and how would they get that information?
I'd be happy to connect you with our general contractor or to whomever would like the information from our general contractor. If there are companies in the city of Inkster that bid on this, we would welcome that. And I can certainly connect you with the source of the information for the bidding process.
Yeah, I think if you could share that with the entire body, that would be great.
Absolutely.
And lastly, Harry, what's the action that we need to take here on this? Is
Well,
that the stage? Are we at that step yet?
This is a pilot ordinance, so it needs to be enacted as any other ordinances, first reading, second reading, public hearing, all that, procedure. I don't think doesn't look like it's set up for that on the agenda tonight, but we should certainly get rolling on this at the next council meeting to do the first reading and move along to get this passed. Because as you heard from Mark, they really need this, beginning of next year. So we should certainly get this done as quickly as we can. If we can get it done before the end, certainly before the end of the year, it needs to be at a minimum. So let's move that process along.
That's great. And then at the public hearing, Mark, you will provide, of course, not only this body, but the community with the presentation, kind of outlining all those points that you talked to us about tonight.
Sure, I'd be more than happy to.
And you got the designs of the project kind of from beginning to end. I mean, I know technology would allow us to be able to do that in relation to just the remodel overall. That would be good too, I think.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir. Councilman Shaw.
You may mention about the public hearing. I think Harry may mention also about the public hearing. Now, will letters be sent out to those residents that's already in these apartments so that they can come out and be able to participate within the public hearing?
We have our procedures for publishing public notice of a public hearing, and we would follow that normal procedure. I suppose, though, that arrangements could be made. I'd have to talk to the city clerk or whoever to make arrangements to have that information provided directly to the residents over at both of these units. I'm sure if you have email, certainly that's easy enough to do, or distributing a stack of flyers over there someday. It could be done. I would think that would be beyond what is normally required, Councilman.
Well, some common place where it can be posted so that they can be able to see and come out and chime in, because I know that they had issues prior to this renovation, project, but, so that they can, make sure that their concerns are voiced, and that, the developers can hear what they also have to say.
And just to let you know, so as we ramp up towards the financial closing, we are scheduling on-site community meetings with our relocation consultant. Let them know, what the game plan is, to be well in advance of, hey, we're not just all of a sudden doing this. We want to do it. We think it's the best thing to do, but we're also notifying them early on and having on-site meetings. Try to let them know what's forthcoming, and of course, if there's special needs, to make sure that we've noted the special needs and can accommodate any special needs.
All right, well, good then. Thank you so very much, Mark. Thank you so much, Harry.
You're welcome.
Thank you all.
All right, moving right along. Right along into consent agenda. What's your pleasure?
So move.
Support.
Support.
Been moved and properly supported. Roll call, please, City Clerk.
Councilwoman Watley,
Nay.
Councilman Chisholm,
Yes.
Councilman Shaw,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
3 votes to 1.
All right, motion carries. Moving right off into boards and commissions, going around any council. Boards and commissions, any appointments?
Mr. Chair, I have no appointments, but I just want to get an update on the housing redevelopment, is that going to be, do we have a
Yeah, we'll
person?
be making that appointment soon. I've been in constant contact with the director over at housing, and also to a couple of the other board members on housing with a couple of candidates that see that will probably fit with them, and allowing them to kind of talk to them and screen them before I bring them before the body.
Okay, very good, sir.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, are you finished, Councilman Shaw?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Councilwoman Wiley?
Yes, just to give you a heads up, we are short on the police and fire pension board. Barry O'Brien will be leaving in January of 22. He sent out a resignation letter, and Mr. Mandisa, he resigned from it, and you appointed him in Lorenzo Moner's place. So just to let you know, you have 2 positions there you need to fill.
Okay, thank you. And City Clerk, did you get Mendisa's resignation?
I'm sorry, it was faint, Mr. Mayor.
Councilwoman Wiley just updated us on a couple of things that's going to happen over in the police and fire pension board. And Mr. Mendisa has, I'm assuming that you weren't CC'd on that. So if we could get that, Councilwoman Wiley CC'd to our city clerk, if you could put that on file, Mr. Mendisa.
Sure, I will send her both the letter we got from Mr. Mandisa and Barry O'Brien too.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Councilwoman Wiley. Anything else? All right, hearing that, moving right along. New business.
So the first item A is to consider approval of the 2022 City Council meeting schedule.
What's your pleasure?
So moved.
All right, is there support?
I'll support for discussion.
Discussion, please, Councilman Chisholm.
Yes, earlier in orientation, though, we were speaking about it, and I had confirmed with Attorney Jones if he had received my email with my suggestions and or recommendations for the public
I'm
comment.
sorry, Councilman. This is item A.
Oh,
about
I'm
the
sorry. I'm looking at the
city-
wrong thing. My apologies.
city, no worries. So are you still in support of?
Yes, I am.
Okay, all right. Then, do you have anything for this item? All right.
Mr. Chair,
Anyone else have any discussions for this item?
yeah, I just have, it might be just a typo for the district down there for Shaw. It got 5 now. Kim is for 5. I don't know if that'll make any difference or what have you. It can be just a typo, but just wanted to note that to the clerk that it would be 6 instead of 5.
Right.
At the bottom down there.
All right, hearing that, City Clerk, I know that you will adjust that. Anything else? All right.
I think it's good to me.
Yes, noted.
All right, roll call, please, City Clerk.
Okay. Councilman Chisholm,
Yes.
Councilman Shaw,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yeah.
and Councilwoman Watley.
Yes.
So
All right.
that was a 4-0 vote, Mr. Mayor.
All right, motion carry. Item B, please.
Item B is to consider approval of amended rules for public comment at city meetings.
Your support?
So move.
Is there support? I'm sorry.
Yes, support for discussion now.
All right, good. Then go ahead, Councilman Chisholm.
All right. As I was alluded to under the last item, non-intentionally, we had spoke earlier during orientation, and I had confirmed with Attorney Jones if he had received my suggestions and recommendations. He did confirm that he received mine and Councilwoman Wiley's. So I know we talked about expanding on this conversation more at this time, and then possibly tabling it so that the rest of council could either provide some additions or subtractions.
Yeah, I have a subtraction.
Go ahead, Councilman Shaw.
I mean, we can, I mean, once we put it on the table, then, I talk more about
Yeah, it's on the table. It's on the table now for discussion. This is all for discussion. And then if you guys want to table the item, so then everything that you guys talked about tonight, we can give it back to the attorney. He can formulate it, then bring it back for the vote on the next council meeting.
Yeah, mine is just, the problem with number 8, so. But I mean, I'm for tabling it.
Okay. As it relates to number 8, what was your issue with number 8?
I mean, I would like to subtract that from off of the public comment. It says, once a motion is made on the floor, discussion for the public shall no longer be permitted on the agenda item. Now, when you call it, when we in the motion, I mean, I don't think there's any public comments anyway when the motion is on the floor. So I didn't really quite understand how he had that worded there.
David, you want to chime in on that and what you were thinking?
Yes. Member Shaw is correct, but I participate in several open meetings open meetings. Sometimes I sit on a planning commission, sometimes I sit in on the zoning ZBA, as well as in open meetings under other municipalities and other public bodies. This Inkster City Council is pretty good at, not allowing public comment once a motion is on the floor and being debated by the body. Some municipalities, however, and I've seen it even done in some of our meetings, where the public will raise their hand and chime in, and there'll be a back and forth. It's happened here, but again, it's the will of the body whether or not to delete that. I understand why you think it shouldn't be in there, but typically you're right. The Inkster City Council is pretty good about not allowing the public to chime in once the matter is before council for a vote. So it makes sense. But it was really just a belt and suspenders with regard to public debate.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I understand.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then, so what we're going to do, Councilman is hearing that then with all the things that Councilwoman Wiley and Councilman Chisholm have added. Of course, we'll send it out to the entire body to the, for if anybody else want to chime in one last time, then it'll go to, of course, the attorney for him to formulate everything, bring it back to us, and then we could add, omit at that time if we wanted to, but then we'll actually vote on it. So right now, for the sake of time, unless there's any other discussion, I'm looking to table this item until next meeting. There are motion for that.
So move, Mr. Chair. So move to table it to the November 15th meeting.
Support.
I don't think he can table it. I've already made a motion to accept it. It's up to me to table it at this time.
We're tabling.
There was a maker of the, well, let's do it like this. Let's keep it clean. The maker of the motion. Would you
Yes,
be
sir.
willing to table the item? So,
Yes, sir.
all right, then is there support?
Support.
All right, it's been moved and properly to support it. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please, to the clerk.
Councilman Shaw,
Yes, yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
Councilwoman Watley,
Yes,
and Councilman Chisholm.
Yes.
That's 4 yeas, Mr. Mayor.
Right, motion carries. Item C, please.
To consider approval for work authorization in the amount of $99,000 for Alfred Benesh and Company to provide design services for a new water main and eliminate lead services on North River Park Drive from Avondale to Sunnydale Road.
So move, Mr. Chair.
The support,
Support.
discussion.
I got it unwritten as a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, what they talking about running these lines, are they also changing part of eliminating the lead services in people's houses also? Or they just doing the infrastructure in these areas?
All right, Mr. Bivens, please.
To the body and the audience, this is more in depth than this eliminating lead service. We also replacing the water mains in that area. So we going beyond just the lead service. We're putting new water mains in that area.
Okay, but
So
the
these are
question-
lead services to the house as well?
Yes, yeah, we go replacing the lead service from the main to the house, but we
Okay,
also
that's what I
installing
wanted to
new
know.
water mains. Yes.
That's what I want to know.
All right. Any other questions for Mr. Bivens?
And
Hearing
just
none, roll call. I'm sorry, go ahead, Councilman Shaw.
No, just real simple, just for the sake of public, these funds right here, Mr. Bivens, is going to be reimbursed to us, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. That's all I
All
have.
right. All right. Sounds good. Roll call, please, City Clerk.
Councilwoman Watley,
Yes,
Councilman Chisholm,
Yes.
Councilman Shaw,
Yes.
and Councilman Williams.
Yes,
That's 4-0, Mr. Mayor.
All right, motion carries. Item D, please.
Item D is to approve a work authorization in the amount of $140,000 to the same company to provide design services for a new water main and eliminate services in section 17. That's the area bound by Middle Belt Road to Kawadden Street and Beach Street to Cherry Street.
What's your pleasure?
so moved.
Support.
Remove the properly supported discussion.
I'd like to ask a question on this here, okay, what we're spending on here, because I know in this area they're talking about, you know, you don't have that many houses right in there. And I'm just wondering, if this is just for the infrastructure in the ground, these this amount is for the houses also in that area?
Mr. Bivens?
Say that again.
Okay.
Councilman Williams.
We got little houses over in that area. Some of them is not even operable, and some of them people live in them. So what I'm saying, and it's been determined through conversation with the mayor and that I've been considered trying to find how we can redevelop that area. So my question to you is, okay, you indicated in the last one that you're going to be doing the houses and the infrastructure in that area. Are we the older houses in that area? Are we going to be doing that?
No, sir, this is a water main being installed there. That end of the city is where pressure is very low, as the mayor has stated on several meetings. ISO rating there is not high, so we're increasing the water infrastructure over there all the way up to where the skating rink is, so we can bring our ISO rating up. That area is just, as you recall, that area was established in what, World War I, World War II, where they have houses and bunkers over there. So they have very small mains over there. So we just try to increase. So for future development, they will have a new infrastructure, water structure over there.
Okay,
And I know the mayor.
What it's saying right here, it says, and eliminating lead services into the section 17 areas bounded by Middle Belt and Keewatin Street and Bleach from
Right.
Cherry.
So we're eliminating the lead service in those street areas. Not that many houses over there, but we're eliminating the lead service. You got a few houses over, but yes, we will be. It'd be basically the same thing we're doing on North River. But the biggest bang over there is we're upgrading the water main. So when you upgrade the water mains, at that same time, you eliminate the lead services. But that's the significance of that project over there, is to get those water mains. You know, I think they got 4 to 2 inches over there. We're taking them up to 8.
Okay, but I was concerned about the houses, because the houses that have the houses over there where it really need a lot, and a lot of them over there that's not being used and need to be towed down and buried. And I don't know, should we run line, new carpet lines up to them houses when we were talking about trying to develop that area.
But I mean,
Yeah.
it's a benefit for the city right now because we're like I said, we're putting in a new water main and we're removing the lead service over there. So when you have future development, that will already be done.
I can
You won't
understand
have
about the main, the water main, I can understand that part.
I'm
Mr.
talking about
Mayor.
with the lead service too. Say if you go to,
Going into them old houses right over there?
yeah, because you're increasing your value over there when you bring in. So we talked about bringing some over there where the school got tore down. They got a service over there now that won't be lead. So you won't have to go back. You won't have to go back when you start building stuff over there to change the service.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about that. I know about putting the main lines in there. I'm talking about running them lines from the infrastructure to the houses.
Well, yeah, those houses have lead services. They got to be changed anyway under state law. I mean, I can't just have those people with lead services. You see what's going on in other communities right now that's having an issue with lead services. So we have to do our due diligence where we come across an opportunity to replace those services, we have to replace them. Even given the age.
I know they got to be replaced. A whole lot of them have to be replaced in the city of Inkster.
Yes,
so what I
sir.
was saying is some of them that really need to can do that, because what I don't want to happen if we go over there and them houses over there and we replace the lead and then we turn around there, have to tear that whole area up and redo it. Okay, so what I'm saying is if we trying to get somebody to redevelop that area, okay, there's something that we was talking, trying to get that area developed, because most of all the houses over there, we got houses that need to be actually not lead pipe run up to them, we need to be towed down.
Well, when we did our survey of the whole city, this was identified as one of the worst areas in the city. And that's why we're attacking it first.
No problem. But I'm just saying, you're attacking, you put it. Oh, okay, go ahead on. Put it in there. You know.
Oh, there, Councilman, I get what you're trying to say. At the same time, it's mandated by the state that we replace the lines. Once we've identified them, which they were identified as one of the worst areas in the city, relates to lead service because of the age of the properties, we have to do it.
I understand that, Mr. Mayor, but what I'm saying is we got a lot of them in the city of Inkster we have to do. So
yes, we have to do it regardless. Whether we do it first or last, they have to be done.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you know, doing that first, we could, you know, I'm just saying we could just kind of hold up on that one until we get ready to develop that area, try to do something with it. And I believe we're gonna do something
but
with
the water pressure is so low in that area too, Councilman.
It's horrible.
It could be a major issue if we don't, and then we know about it and we don't do anything about it. So we have to do this. So this is
I can understand that, but what I'm saying is, what happened when if you decided to redo that whole area? I mean, that was just
then you have already had an infrastructure there and it's value for a developer, so we can attract a developer.
Not for inside, Mr. Mayor. Okay.
Oh, I get what you're saying as it relates to the abandoned, the houses is there. I get that. And we're working on that for you, sir. We're looking for some funding to get those houses tore down. Okay, any other discussion on this item? Hearing none, roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Watley,
Yes,
Councilman Chisholm,
Yes.
Councilman Shaw,
Yes.
and Councilman Williams.
Yes, go ahead and do it.
All right, moving right along,
4-0.
Moving right along, motion carries. Item E, please.
Item E is approval of a work authorization in the amount of $369,000 to Alfred Benesh and Company to provide design services for a new storm sewer, rehabilitation of a 30-inch combined sewer, and all associated work along Notre Dame Street, John Daly Road, and Yale Street.
What's your pleasure?
So move.
Support.
Been moved and properly supported. Discussion,
Hey, Mr. Mayor, can I speak to this?
please go ahead.
Okay, so some of you guys are new. Mr. Mayor is not. I mean, some of you guys are new to council, so I want to give you some background. Mr. Mayor, what was it, 2008? I think the first year you guys got elected, you were Councilman Shaw. This came before you. The state was trying to make me build another CSO basin in the Eastern Outfalls, and it was like 20-something million dollars. And at that time, the city was financially strapped for cash. So we met with the state, we backed them off of that, and we've been continuing to meet with them to show that we are a distressed community. We can't afford that. So what we're doing now is we've come up with another way to chip away at that, because the flow over there is bad. It's real bad. You know, it does need, like we have at Middle Belt, but this is just the beginning to ease the problem over there. So I just want you guys to understand that this $300-some-thousand to design is a huge saving versus us building another basin for $22 million, and we still paying on the one on Middle Belt. So I just wanted to give you that information before you voted. And Mr. Mayor, Mr. Mayor is very familiar with the Eastern Outfalls, and I think Councilman Wiley and Councilman Chisholm and Shaw, so they know what we went through with the state in that outfall.
Oh, yeah. I
So,
remember.
question.
Go ahead, Councilman Williams.
So what you're saying is if we, over in this area, if we invest this $369 million over in that area, that, and over by the housing, we don't have to worry about building another basin?
We in the process of eliminating that, yes, sir. This is the start to eliminate the state from trying to make us build that, because they still are in pursuit of that. Well, I still have been holding them off on that, but we have to show that we're doing something in that area. We can't just ignore it. So this was a plan that the state agreed to, and we presented to them.
Okay.
Anything else from the body? Hearing none, roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Chisholm,
Yes.
Councilman Shaw,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
and Councilwoman Watley.
Yes,
That's 4-0, Mr. Mayor.
All right, motion carries. Item F, please.
Item F is a resolution for approval authorizing the sale of one vacant parcel located on Notre Dame between Bayham Street and Meadowdale Street in the amount of $1,000.
To move.
Is support?
Support.
Discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilman Shaw,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
Councilwoman Watley,
yes,
and Councilman Chisholm.
Yes.
That's 4-0, Mr. Mayor.
Carries. Item G, please.
Consider to approve authorizing the sale of two vacant parcels located on Norfolk Street between Sylvia Street and Princess Street on the north side of Norfolk in the amount of $500. The parcels are on each side of the existing owned and occupied property.
What's your pleasure?
So move.
Is support?
Support.
Moving properly supported. Discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am. Councilwoman Watley.
just a quick question. The previous parcel was $1,000 and it was just one.
Yeah.
Is there a reason
Yeah,
for the last?
I'm sorry, ma'am. Go ahead.
Yeah, for the vast differences. I mean, it didn't even occur to me to ask the last time, but when I see this for 500, and I know we sell vacants for 250 if they're whatever. So I'm just curious as to the difference.
Yeah, so, we have been discussing this now for at least 2 years now. It relates to vacant properties versus combined properties to be able to build buildable properties. And we said that we would, after we get past all of the ones that we had it built up, which is the ones that, like you're seeing for the 500, are the ones that were built up from like a year ago, basically. Any new one that would come in, the vacants would be 1,000 per lot, and then the buildables would be 1,500.
Okay, I'm clear. I'm clear. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question, discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Williams,
Yeah,
Councilwoman Watley,
Yes,
Councilman Chisholm,
Yes.
and Councilman Shaw.
Yes.
4-0, Mr. Mayor.
Motion carries. Item H, please.
Item H is a resolution to authorize the sale of 2 vacant parcels on Ash Street and 3 vacant parcels on Walnut Street, both between Elm Street and Cherry Street, in the amount of $4,500.
so move.
And support.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Watley,
yes,
Councilman Chisholm,
Yes.
Councilman Shaw,
Yes.
and Councilman Williams.
Yes,
Yeah, 4-0, Mr. Mayor.
Motion carries. Item I, please.
Item I is to consider approval for the sale of 2 vacant non-adjacent parcels located on Harrison Street between Pine and Andover for $500.
so move, Mr. Chairman.
There's
Support.
support. Been moved and properly supported. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please, City Clerk.
Councilman Chisholm,
Yes.
Councilman Shaw,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes,
Councilwoman Watley.
yes,
Mr. Mayor, that's 4-0.
Carries. Item J, please.
Item J is also a resolution authorizing the sale of 1 vacant parcel on Irene Street.
So move, Mr. Chair.
support.
Been moved and properly supported. Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please, City Clerk.
Okay. Councilman Shaw,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yeah,
Councilwoman Watley,
yes,
and Councilman Chisholm.
Yes.
4-0, Mr. Mayor.
So moving right
Mr.
along.
Mayor?
Councilwoman Wiley?
yeah. Just a quick question. Why was she not allowed to finish reading?
I thought that she was.
I thought she was too.
Jump right on there, and I just say, is it some more
Yeah,
we
well-
need to read?
No, I'm just thinking protocol and courtesy, that's all.
Okay. So just for the public sake, Irene Street between Carlisle and Andover Street. In the amount
She
of
made a
$500.
pause there, so I thought she was done.
Yeah. Okay,
I'm
then.
not in opposition.
All right, then, moving right along. This brings us to public participation. We ask that each person that chimes in, of course, state your name for the record. You have a minute to speak. You'll be recognized by the chair, of course. We just ask you to be respectful in your comments to this body and to this process. Councilman Chisholm, if you could, please give them the technical side of it.
Yes, for those who have joined us by Zoom that wish to speak at this time, please use the raise hand feature on the Zoom application. For those who have joined us by telephone, please press *9 to raise your hand to be recognized. At this time, Mr. Mayor, you have 1 hand raised. Two hands, they're going up.
All right, perfect. Kenya McKinney, please.
She is on
Hello, good evening, everyone. Am I,
Mm,
can you guys hear me?
We can.
Okay, how are you? I have a question about the PACE program that is with the Treasury Department, the Wayne County Treasury Department. There are several residents in the city of Inkster that are in jeopardy of foreclosure. And they have contacted the Wayne County Treasury to see what options are available. And some were directed to the PACE program. Well, when they got the answer from the PACE program, they were told that the city of Inkster has opted out of that. And so my question is the first question is why would we opt out of that? The second question is how do we correct that in order to help the residents of the city of Inkster?
So I wish that I can answer that question just like right now, just to give you a thorough question, a thorough answer, but, just the broad answer is when the PACE program first came to us, Ms. McKinney, it was talking about, lowering taxes or eliminating taxes for residents in the city of Inkster. As you are aware, as a homeowner in the city of Inkster, 85% of our taxes are supported by our residents in the city of Inkster. Whether you're a homeowner or a landlord, most of our taxes are supported that way. So when the body made the decision, and I believe it was a unanimous decision, I'm not for sure, when the PACE program was presented to us earlier on last year, that we then at that time, with the treasurer telling us that we would actually be losing so much money to our bottom line to be able to provide service like police, fire, horse trash, and other essential things that we do here in the city of Inkster, that we determined that wasn't a good idea for us to get involved in the program at that time. Since then, of course, the county treasurer has told us that people have been calling about the program, and they've actually added some additions to the program, but we can't just opt in the program back into the program. So the county executive, along with the county treasurer, are working with their team to see what's best suited for the city of Inkster. So let's just say this: the city of Detroit is in the PACE program, and anyone that signs up for the PACE program and the county accepts, then it's a private organization in the city of Detroit, and I believe it's the Gilbert Foundation that actually pays the city of Detroit to make up for the taxes that they would lose from that particular resident. So at any rate, what I'll do is, to the best of my ability, I'll get with the treasurer along with county, and we'll get some information. We'll put it online as it relates to, again, your question, because I think it's a good question for the community. I'm trying to explain to the best of my ability as I can recollect. But that was just the overall consensus of it. So we are looking at, the county coming back and presenting to us again, and then the body, in turn, then making that decision to see what we can do as it relates to that. All right, chair recognizes June 7th.
Hi, my name is June Patterson. I am a member of the Commission on Aging. I have a problem in my neighborhood. Well, not my neighborhood. Behind me, my house, there's a house that was burned down about 6 months ago, I guess. But there's a rat infestation over there, and I've seen a couple of rats in my yard. I have talked to a code enforcement person. They said they did what they were supposed to do, but the owners or whoever owns the house, they just haven't done anything in response. Plus, there's a huge dumpster sitting there. I don't know what's in it, but there's no cover on it, and the dumpster belongs to the same company that supposedly picks up our garbage. And when our garbage was late being picked up, I saw some neighbors throwing bags of garbage in that dumpster at that vacant house, and the rats are having a ball. And I just like somebody to do something about it.
All right, Mr. President, do you have an address for that particular?
Yes, I do.
Give it to me.
It's 26127 Prince.
Consider us on. Definitely get it taken care of. Is that all, ma'am?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I'm on top of it. I'll follow back up.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am. You're welcome. I need champagne.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Evening.
Three things. First of all, I know Director Green mentioned this last council meeting, but Wayne County is still at the complex Monday through Saturday doing the all three shots for anybody needing their third shot. They're there from 12 noon until 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and that will be indefinitely. There's no set expiration as we know them. It's going to be ongoing. Also, I've lost just a sec. Oh, the medical transportation for the Commission on Aging, the seniors living in Inkster 60 and over that need medical transportation within a 10-mile radius is available on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So if anybody needs assistance that way, please reach out to us at 313-561-2650. That's 313-561-2650. Third thing is I need to do a public shout out thank you to CUP for stepping forward. We had a senior needing assistance in her yard. So between DPS and the Commission on Aging and CUP, they were able to get that taken care of, and the senior's very happy. So thank you, CUP, for always answering with any requests that I have before you, and you take care of it, and I do appreciate that. And the fourth thing, Mayor, just wanted to give a shout out to you and whoever's doing it, the flowers at the complex. The mums were put in the front of the building. Now they were putting pumpkins and mums and everything in by the sign out in front of the complex. And it really is a joy to pull up and see the pretty work that's being done there. So thank you. And that's it.
All right, moving right along, and I'll make sure I let
Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, but I would like to ask Ms. Champagne about the shots. This is for your booster shot. And are all three available? Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, and Pfizer?
Yes, all three are available.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, moving right along. Councilwoman Connie Mitchell, please.
Good evening and thank you. Two things I want to mention this evening. First of all, I want you to be aware, Inkster citizens, of the Decline to Sign campaign. The Michigan legislators who believe the big lie that Donald Trump told about losing the presidency have a campaign going in the state of Michigan, which will dilute the right to vote of all its citizens. If 4% of the citizens of the state of Michigan sign this campaign, Governor Whitmer will not be able to veto any voter suppression bills. So it is very important that we do not sign any petitions that people come up to you and ask you to sign. They are paying people to go into communities and catch people unaware of what is going on, getting their signature and pushing their agenda, which is not good for our citizens in this state. So please decline to sign any petitions offered to you at this time. Secondly, I want to know if anyone in city government is keeping up with the Independent Commission on Redistricting, because I have studied some of the maps that have been presented, and Inkster is in jeopardy of being placed in a group that will diminish our power as Black voters. So I'm wondering if anyone in city government is keeping up with what's going on with the Redistricting Commission.
I guess to answer your question, yes, I think all of us are. Go ahead, Councilman Chisholm. I know that you work really closely with.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just been tuning in. I know the 13th congressional district at the last meeting had someone from the state come down and actually display an interactive map. And I believe that particular map shows Inkster being in a conglomerate with the cities of Westland, Canton, and things of that nature. And I know at this particular time, Inkster does have a stronghold when we waiting on those 10 to 11,000 votes to come in to find out who our candidate is going to be for state representative. But alluding to what former Councilwoman Mitchell did say, once we get meshed with the rest of them, we will lose the little power that we do have.
That's correct. It's Canton, Westland, Garden City, parts of Livonia, and Inkster that are included in the map that I have observed. And you will know that with those groups, they outnumber voters 3-1. There's 177,000 of them to 55,000 of us. So it makes a big difference. So I'm just glad that someone is keeping up with what's going on. And if you have an opportunity, check in and attend some of those meetings. Some are contentious, and but we have to be watchful and make sure that we get a fair shake. Thank you.
You're welcome, Councilwoman. Thank you. Pastor Overman.
Good evening, everyone. I had to get off mute. Thank you for taking my call. Just wanted to address the issue regarding property tax. Even with Inkster opting out at Wayne Metro, we have funding to support property tax and foreclosure. The number is 313-388-9799. You are welcome to call. We have a general application that's universal that covers many things. So anybody in Inkster, give a call down to Wayne Metro tomorrow to address property tax. We are also giving COVID vaccination shots as well as testing at Christ Temple City of Refuge every Wednesday from 11 until 3. And I just want to do a shout out and a thank you to those that to our town hall conversation on Saturday. The room and all of our space was used. We had lots of resources. Do appreciate the support of Western Wayne Family Health Centers, Team Wellness, and the Western Wayne County NAACP, Operation Refuge, Bishop Stargell, Darren Griffin, as well as Carl Baxter. It was just really a great program. So thankful for everyone that came out, and Operation Refuge is very proud to say that we'll be able to support and help with Thanksgiving again this year. So if you're in need, please reach out and let me know. Thank you.
All right, move right along. Inkster Chamber of Commerce. Inkster Chamber of Commerce.
I think there might be a difficulty. Hold on one second.
Good evening. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. This is Octavia Smith with the Inkster Chamber. Mayor, council, and residents, good evening. Of course, coming back, Inkster Task Force wants to thank everyone once again for supporting the Inkster Task Force Farmers Market. The chamber is finalizing our calendar ads. So again, if anyone is in need or would like to support, just call the chamber or email us. And at Western Wayne Family Health Center, we do have the Moderna booster on Fridays and then Pfizer on Saturdays. So you can call 313-561-5100 to schedule those boosters. And I just wanted to share that information. I have spoken to State Representative Joel Jones, and he says to let everyone know that he loves you guys and he thank you for all of your prayers. And he hopes to see you all soon. Thank you very much.
So we'll let him know that we love him and we definitely praying for him and support him. All right. Steve, okay. Chair recognizes Bill. State your name for the record, please.
Yes, my name is Bill Gluckman.
All right, moving right along. Let's do the city clerk. You got anything for?
The city of Inkster has an election tomorrow, and we're all geared up. We start our operations at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, so I would appreciate a quick wrap up of the rest of the meeting.
But I got like 13 things.
Yeah. So the one item that the city of Inkster will be addressing, voting on tomorrow, is the Taylor School Bond. So those of you that live in that district and it's kind of convoluted because there are people that do live in precinct 3-1, in District 3-1 and District 3-2 that will not be voting tomorrow. Everyone has been contacted who's eligible. So we're just excited about, a good turnout and a productive day.
Give your number, so if people have any questions, they can call you. I'm not trying to put more work on you, but at the same time, someone may have
No,
a
it's
question.
fine, it's fine. The number is 313-563-9770.
All right, thank you, City Clerk, and you and your deputy have been doing a fantastic job. Just working really hard. I mean, of course, just seeing your work and doing your work, really appreciate what you're doing. All right,
Thank
City
you.
Treasurer, you got anything for us?
Yes, we're going through our audit now, or just starting our audit work. So we'll be getting a lot of information together and gathering that for the audit, for the auditor, and we will be updating the board or the body on all of the information that comes out of our audit. From a Parks and Recreation side, we're starting our youth winter basketball league. This is for the public. Next November the 13th, we'll have a draft combine. So any basketball players from the age 11 to 14 that are interested in playing in our league, welcome to come to our combine. And then we'll have a draft on the 14th. And then we'll start playing in December, and we'll play every Saturday from 10 to 2 for 8 weeks. So come on
Girls
out.
and boys, correct?
No, this is a boys league. We'll do a girls league separately. This is a boys league.
Okay, well, the girls got to start soon too, so I expect you to get on top of that.
Mr. Chair, I just wanted to ask the treasurer, the Parks and Rec director, is the karate program still going, or are they going to have the karate program, or?
Yeah, well, we like, his room is kind of damaged right now, the space he was working out of. Okay. So, that's kind of holding us up from doing that right now.
Okay.
So once we get more space, he says he wants to come back, but right now we just got to get his room together.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
All right, just to add to that, so I won't take up too much comments as it relates to the treasurer's piece. I did get from the council the request for Plant Moran to come before the body. As you all know, that we're on the email. Brian from Plant Moran, who's the head person there, he wasn't able to come to our November 15th meeting, so he's available on December the 6th, to where the treasurer, along with Plant Moran, will be giving the body and the community an update as it relates to our finances, where we are. Also, any amendments at that time, because it's the appropriate time to do as it relates to just a quarter. And then from there, what we'll do is we'll set times for this body every quarter for Plant Moran, along with the treasurer, to come before you to just give us updates, leading all the way to, of course, budget approval at the end of the fiscal year. I think doing that, keep everybody's hand on the pulse. And of course, in between, if you have any questions, thoughts, whatever, continue to communicate like you have been doing. And then, of course, to Councilman Shaw and to Councilman Williams, thank you so much for working with the treasurer as you guys are working in the finance committee capacity. So definitely appreciate that as well. As it relates to the Parks and Rec, to the Parks and Rec director, through the Parks and Rec director, we did get confirmation from the county that everything has been approved as it relates to the contractors. The contractors have been selected for the renovations to start at the recreation complex. We're just waiting on our executive, Warren Evans, to sign the documents. But like I said before, the city will not come out of one dime to do this project. It's not a reimbursement. All the money's coming from the county. County's overseeing the project. And of course, with our input, and I would be sending and forwarding you guys all of those, so as it relates to just what we're looking at, so you can put any input in it that you want. But if you've seen the new senior center that's located in the recreation complex, it'll be pretty much that particular style. Of course, modern, updated, clean. I'm really excited about it. The work's going to take about 3 months to do, about 90 days, but the rec will not close We will do it in phases, and we will, of course, rope off what we need to rope off for public to be able to access the building. All right, moving right into it. Councilman Shaw, what you have for us?
I just have a few things real quick, Mr. Chair. I do want to say a special thanks to Ms. Joyce, the superintendent. I had a few issues that she dealt with for me. And also some special thanks to Sergeant Wall. I had some issues that she also had dealt with for me, and I appreciate both of them. And I want to say thanks to the police chief, Chief Raleigh. He was out there patrolling, in some of the issues that we had over in the district. And I want to say thank you, Chief, for coming out and getting into a patrol car. That's, that is special there. So I want to say thank you for that. And also, if you see something, say something, or if you see something, use the See, Click, Fix app that we have for the city of Inkster. And also, Mr. Chair, I do have a few issues on 1212 Magnolia. These folks are just dumping, tree branches and limbs, just in the street there in front of that property. And also 1191 Helen Street. They have a door they busted in. I will send pictures to you this week here. And it's some of these homeowners, owners or landlords, really needs to step up to their properties, Mr. Chair. And that's all I have. So
yes, sir. All right, moving right along, Councilman Chisholm.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just have three short things. One, this past weekend, of course, is Halloween. And there were multiple persons doing trunk or treats. Everything seemed to go smoothly, and I was able to participate in the one at the rec center. Although it did rain, it was cold, it was a great time, and just want to say thank you to everyone across the city who took the time out to make sure that the kids, I should say youth, were able to participate in something safe as such. And of course, by abiding by the COVID guidelines and all of that. Secondly, from Octavia Smith, she mentioned that John wanted me to let you guys know the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is also available, and she will be forwarding the flyer from Western Wayne Family Health Center over to Troy. And then Unity in the Community are having a Thanksgiving dinner from 12 to 3 p.m. on November 21st. I will forward that flyer over to Troy as well. It is a pick up and go. And then there is a number here at the bottom for a Karen Bell. And if you need it delivered, you need to contact them by the 17th of November. That telephone number is 313-399-8447. Again, that's 313-399-8447. And that is for Unity in the Community Thanksgiving dinner on November 21st at the Inkster Rec between 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. Please make sure that you contact them by November 17th if you need it delivered. And that's all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
All right, just to add on to that, so we'll definitely be all together out there together. So we're gonna go from two to 4 with turkey giveaway that same date on November the 21st at the Recreation Complex. And we're gonna do some more dinners. So we'll probably be giving away about 300 dinners that day. We'll be out in the parking lot, so I'm gonna make sure that I get with them and we coordinate together. This is an annual thing that we've been doing, and we want to make sure that we continue to serve our community. So that's great. Yeah, that's what unity is all about. And I just echo everything that you're saying, Councilman. It's all over the community. It was just buzzing, it's everybody doing something. So we just got to continue to keep up that energy. So good, thank you. Councilwoman Watley.
Yes, Mayor. I just want to reiterate some requests I've made prior to this, like having a report on the building department, the in-house as opposed to the outsourcing of it. I've asked for that several times. I'd like to get that. I would like to again ask for a year-to-date total of Nerd Express expenditures. I've asked for that. The general fund balance. I'd like to know what that is. I'd like to know what the Parks and Recs fund balance is. And last week, I mentioned that we need to evaluate our legal services. If that's possible, I don't think we've done it in some time, and I'd like to see us arrange to do that. And lastly, I would like to say how totally devastating the loss of Tony Bailey is. Her commitment and her dedication to her job and her smile. She never had anything bad to say about anybody. She just smiled and did her work. And we will not see her like again in Inkster for quite some time. So I would like to express how much I will miss that part of this city. That's all I have.
Councilwoman, I think all of us echo that sentiment. Just to get back to the business of it, Mr. Green, if you could please provide those documents right away as it relates to, I thought that you had already done that. And I apologize if I misunderstood when I asked the question, if you had, as it relates to Nerves Express and those expenditures year to date, also to the Parks and Rec funding, and then of course the fund balance. We know that we'll be definitely presenting everything to the community as a whole on December the 6th. If we could please provide those to the councilmatic body, of course, to Councilwoman Watley, if you don't to anyone else. As it relates to the report for the building department, we wanted to get a full year. I thought I had explained that, but maybe let me just make it clear. We wanted to get this a full year because last year, of course, with COVID, the building department was shut down for pretty much half of the year. But we didn't have a proper gauge on that. So going into this year, we're pretty much seeing those trends as it relates to the cost, overall as it relates to revenues coming in on a constant basis. So I'm definitely going to get that information to you, and that'll be forthcoming. I apologize for the delay as it relates to that. All right, Councilman Williams.
Yes, I would like to also sentiment on the loss of Tony Bailey. I worked with her over I don't know how many years at the beautification, and I know too that we're gonna miss her. I talked with her sister today. They haven't gave final arrangements yet, but well, Mr. Mayor, as soon as I get them, I'll forward them to your office. Okay, and I would like to get the Madam Clerk to will come up with a resolution with the mayor and the entire council signature. It's been saddened because I worked with her for many years cleaning up the city of Inkster, and I tell you, it hurts, but I know we all got to leave here. So I just hope keep her family in prayer as we continue to move forward. Okay. That's about all I have to say at this time, Mr. Mayor. And thank you for allowing me to talk.
Yes, and I just tell you as it relates to Tony, I think that all of you said it best, but her smile and the work, when you talk about, true service and leadership, because she was our leader on the commission for the beautification committee. Her hard work and of course, tireless efforts to make Inkster beautiful. Me and her talked about, just, the overall plan for Inkster, for me as it relates to our vision being clear with one another, being clean first, making it safe and making it accessible. She's definitely the true model for that. And I believe that if we can just take a half a portion of her energy and her work ethic and her desire to love on our community, that Inkster will definitely be better, much, much better place. So she would definitely be missed, but it's time for us to just pick up the mantle and go even harder for Tony. I'm looking forward to us as a councilmatic body doing a mayor and council resolution as Councilman Williams had suggested. So I'll be working with the city clerk to make sure we formulate that properly with the family, and then pass it around to all the council to sign, and then we can seal. And then also to look at dedicating the day as we start our clean up program. We started in the summertime, the springtime, where Tony always leads us off. We look at that date, and then that we proclaim that day as Tony Bailey Day here in the city of Inkster. All right. The chair would like to recognize and say congratulations to the Inkster Buccaneers on their 12U PAL State Championship. Go Bucks. I'm so excited for you all. And of course, anything that we can do for the entire organization, but just lifting you up in your win in the state championship and be recognized as our 12U here representing the city of Inkster. So great job, coaches. Of course, presidents, Dwayne Coop and Jane Richardson continue to do a great job. And of course, all our parents and kids, we couldn't do it without you. Chair also wants to recognize and say for the month of November, Chief Riley, and I'm assuming I would have to say it would be the police, if the police department would, they're actually recognizing the officer of the month. So each month you'll get a new officer of the month. And his name is Stephen Smith. So the chair would like to recognize him on that accomplishment for the month of November as being our officer of the month. Also, on November the 20th, Tamika Lockhart and the Sisters of Inkster will be feeding our seniors over at Twin Towers and Thompson Towers from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. If you'd like to help out, please, I'm calling on the councilmatic body. If you want to help out, we're looking for food you can drop off. If you want to do a potluck, you can drop food off over to either one of those locations at 11 o'clock on that day. I'll pass along the information as it relates to who you can reach out to. And we'll be over there. We got a few turkeys that we'll be smoking and we'll be cutting and we'll be serving with some ham. If you want to do that as well, let's get involved in that. And then November the 21st is that Sunday at the Inkster Recreation Complex. As you heard already, we got the Unity in the community is going to be doing their giveaway. So we're just going to combine our efforts together and extend that out to 4 o'clock, where we'll be giving away hot meals and also turkeys on that day. So we're going to look to give out about 200 turkeys. Everything is on a first come, first served basis. So we're doing it right after church. So hopefully everybody can line on up and come on through. And then if you need us to deliver something to you, we can do that as well. And I'll provide that information in a flyer that will be circulated throughout the community in a hard copy, but also on all of our social media platforms and our website. Lastly, on that same day, and I'm so excited to announce that the Inkster Family Skate Center will be opening. We'll have our first family skate night on that Sunday as well at 6 p.m. We will be circulating the flyer. It is reservations with RSVP. So we're asking for people to RSVP because there's only so many slots. I think the capacity over there is about 300. So we want to make sure, of course, with COVID protocols, that we probably do 150 as it relates to that. So it's going to be on first come, first served basis, and we're going to be talking about it leading all the way up until that date. But I'm really, really excited about the Family Skate Center opening up. I can't skate a lick, so I'll be there. You want to see some comedy? I'll be there on skates falling around, but come and enjoy yourself. And I'll put that information out to you. If all minds are satisfied, I call this meeting. Looking for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
For support?
Support.
All right, let me see here. Mabel Stroman just sent me something real quick. I apologize, guys. Okay, the unity in the community. Thanksgiving, perfect. This is great. Combine our efforts. I got it. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mother Stroman. Appreciate you. All right, and we'll just support it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, those that say nay, you can say. Have a great week.